Hello everybody. So today we're going to look at the Harbor Freight parking lot sale. They seem to have one of these about every quarter, but this one begins on, well, it began yesterday, Monday, 10/7, and it goes on through 10/10 for inside track team members, and then the 11th, 12th, and 13th of October for everyone else. If you're not an inside track club member, I highly recommend that you join. It's well worth it. You'll pay for it if you shop here a lot, which I do. So I'm just going to focus on the items that I think are really good deals, and I will point out the items that I think aren't such a good deal. So first of all, these performance work gloves, these Hardy work gloves are amazing. I love these. I always buy as many as I can get with the deal, and usually that is 4, I believe, but I've got a whole stack of these at home. I give them to my son every so often, but these are just really, really good gloves. And for $3.49, you can't beat that. So that's 41% off. This Pittsburg Wobble extension set, these are actually pretty good, and I've had really good luck with them. I have more expensive sets, but for $10, you can't beat it, and they're 33% off, so it's a pretty good deal. Love the U.S. General toolboxes. All of them are really good. My favorite color is green, but this 34-inch 6-drawer full bank service cart is a really nice cart. I don't have this particular one. I've got a couple of the larger toolboxes, and then I've got a 3-drawer, I believe it's a 3-drawer cart myself. But they're all really high quality, and for the money you can't beat them. And this one's $100 off at $4.99. You go down to the Pittsburg half-ton low profile, 1.5-ton low profile aluminum racing floor jack. These are really good floor jacks, and at 25% off, that's a good deal. $74.99. The rapid pump jack, I'm not as big of a fan. I like the low profile. And this is, it's $60 off. It's a pretty good chunk off. So it's whatever you decide you like the most. If you do get the colors with the Daytona, and it's probably a little bit better quality. But like I said, I really like the low profile jack versus just the 4-ton rapid pump. But this is a much heavier duty one, so it's something to think about. Again, we get back to the 30-inch 4-drawer cart. This is a pretty typical price for this, $179.99. Still a good deal, and you get the whole array of colors again. These 3-ton heavy-duty ratcheting jacks, or ratcheting jack stands, are excellent for the price, especially at $27.99. It's 44% off. I do prefer these 6-ton jacks because it seems like everything I seem to work on sets a little bit higher. These are a little bigger. They've got a much heavier weight, and at $59.99, that's a good deal. But if you can't, if you can't swing $60, $30 is closer to your range, then feel free. Do whatever makes you happy. This chair is my pick of the entire sale. These rarely go on sale at this price. They go on, you'll get one for, $89. I've seen them, I think, before, but $69.99 is about the best price I've ever seen. I've got one of these, of course, in green, but these are really good, and you will be happy with it if you get it. The best part of these is it's got a really wide base, and the wheels are bigger than most carts, so it rolls really well. It's very stable. And the cover on this seat is extremely well made. It's very heavy and thick. I'm a pretty good sized fella, and I don't see this thing breaking on me anytime soon. It's probably a lifetime chair for me, or stool. Let's see, not a big fan of these compact air compressors. You might like them. I'm not a fan of them, but at $54, it's 26% off at $54.99. Not sure where they come up with these percentages. They just seem like they just randomly pick a percentage and go with it. This engine stand is it's a good basic engine stand. It's not the most heavy duty. I don't think I'd use it for a big block or anything like that. and it's only 20% off. I mean, that's a good deal, I guess. But I've seen the heavier duty ones at more of a percentage off. They're still overall higher price, but it's a better one. This 1-ton foldable shop crane, I've got one of these that I've had for decades at this point, and it still works great. It looks horrible, but it works great, and it looks horrible because I've painted on it. I've lifted and tugged and pulled just about everything there is, and it just keeps going. I think very highly of it. And then $50 off, it's a solid deal. Pittsburg Automotive 6,500 pound capacity portable ramp set. Love these. Love them. I have a set of these, and I used to have an old metal set of ramps, and these are just so much better, and they're stronger. They give you a better sense of security when you're under them, under a vehicle being held by them. Get the wheel chocks, the rubber wheel chocks that they have on sale quite often with this, and you can't go wrong. But at 25% off for $45, that's a bargain. I've never used one of these creepers, but at 300 pound capacity, that's pretty good. It would hold me. For $20, you can't go wrong. And I know some folks that have them and really think highly of them. And this one here just happens to be in my favorite color. These Pittsburg fully polished combination wrench sets, 9-piece sets, both of these at $5.99 a piece for $12. You get a full set of wrenches. Hey, these things are lifetime warranted. So you can take them back if they break, and unless you're whacking them with a hammer, unless you're Superman, they're going to be hard to break. But this is a good deal. You can't beat it for both metric and SAE, a whole set for $6 a piece. I love these little storehouse containers. I have multiple of these. I've actually made a wooden rack, which I think I'm going to do a video on that one of these days, just to show you guys what I've made and how I made it. But I have it set up where these slide in and they slide partially out, and then so you can look through the top and see what's in them, and then pull out what you need, set it on the top, take out what you want, put it back, slide it back into the rack where it goes. But these are normally $10, $6. That's 40% off. You can't beat that. That's really good. Harbor Freight super glue. I'm a big fan of this super glue, not because it's especially good. It's not. It's super glue. But the problem I always have with super glue is if you open it, then the next time you go to use it, there's nothing left. It's just solid. So I like these because, well, they're disposable. Use them, they're one and done. But for 98 cents, you get 3 of them. That's a pretty good deal. You can't beat it. These Bauer 4.5-inch metal cutoff wheels, they're okay. They're good, and they're a really good price at $4.79. Now, I believe they've got the Warrior for sale, and we'll see if they've got them. I'm pretty sure they do. If they are, they're not much more expensive than this, maybe $1. I think you're better served to get those. But again, if $5 all you can, $4.79 is all you can afford, then get these. Here's the wheel chuck I was talking about. Get this. This will save your life if you're on a ramp or even on jacks or jack stands. For $5, it's a great sense of security, and your life is worth $5. And it's 37% off, which you can't beat with a stick. Avoid these sawhorses at all costs. You know what? If you like these, message me and let me know, because I've never heard of anybody who liked them. I had a set of these and absolutely hated them and tossed them out when I moved. But hey, if you like them, go for them at $10. The deal's not that great. What, 30% off, 29% off? These mini fuel injector style hose clamps, I've never used these. They look pretty robust just looking at them. They'd be worth it for the money. For $5, I always buy packets of all this kind of stuff. All these other hose clamps, these are all really good deals. For $5, buy one of each. There's 3 of them here. You get the big, the smaller mediums, and then the really small. I'd get them all. Again, I'm going to hit on an item here that I don't care too much for. These titanium drill bit sets. Hey, if you want to drill wood, they'll work. They're lousy for just about anything else. You're you'll sit there and work forever to try to get them to drill through anything. But for $10, a 29-piece drill bit set, that's a good chunk off, $10 off. But it's probably not. To me, I'd save my money for something else. If you need a TV wall hanger that's swivel and tilt, there you go for $9. Big fan of these battery maintainers, and only because at $6.98 you can't go wrong with it. I have multiples of these. I've got a really good battery tender brand for my motorcycle, but I've got a generator, and I've got a couple of other pieces of power equipment that are electric start. And this little small, simple, inexpensive unit, they work great. I have no problems with them. 30% off at $6.98 for $7. It's a good peace of mind for your to keep your batteries charged, so your items start when you need them to. These Predator 2,000 watt generators are great, but I would go for the 3,000 watt or the 3,500 watt actually, or the 5,000 watt. They're a little more expensive, but you're going to get more bang for the buck. But if this is what you can afford and you need it, these are very quiet and they work really well for a 2,000 watt, and $100 off. That's a pretty good deal. These pressure washers are great pressure washers, both the gas and the electric. I think I've seen this gas powered one at a lower price, but this $67 for the Portland 1750 PSI, that's not a bad deal at 24% off. So something to think about. If you need a gas engine for your go-kart or something with a horizontal shaft, $129. That's $50 off. Isn't a bad price. I've heard a lot of good things out of these Predator motors. If you look through YouTube, you see people who've turned these things into. They've taken trucks like Ranger pickups, and they've powered them with these. I think my brother-in-law has joked about wanting to do that, so maybe he'll have his chance at $129. Let's see what we got here. These solar panels are actually pretty good solar panels. I've heard a lot of good things about them. Not a solar guy myself, but I have a couple of friends that are, and they swear by these. Not a huge discount, but $149.99. That's $15 off. It's worth it. These extension cords, this 10-3 100-foot gauge or 10-3 gauge triple tap extension cord, $100. Yeah, it's a good chunk of money for an extension cord. But this is a super heavy duty extension cord. This is the kind you want to hook up to your generator and run it as the main line into the house and then tap off of it. But at $40 off, it's worth getting. I've heard good things about these Avanti sprayers. Never used one, but like I said, I know a couple of friends, and they have them and they swear by them. I got one friend of mine who builds those mini sheds in people's backyards, and he paints them as part of the package, and he uses one of these, and he loves it. He's very happy with it. I do like these clog resistant job site permanent markers. These are great, and they work really well. And $149, not a huge discount, but they're worth the money. Avoid these brushes. These things, I haven't had a whole lot of luck with them. The nylon bristle ones are okay, but the metal ones, they're not worth the metal they're made of. Nitrile gloves. Love the 9mm nitrile gloves. I buy these every time they go on sale. I plan on going to Harbor Freight tomorrow, as a matter of fact, and I am going to buy a couple of boxes of these. I prefer these over just about anything else. I work on cars a lot, and you work on cars, you rub up against things, and the lighter duty gloves tend to tear. These are much harder to tear. They hold up really well. And a box of 50, man, they'll last me a long time just because they hold up so well. But for $7.98, you can't beat it. Any of the Thunderbolt batteries that are yellow, avoid. They're not worth it. The blue, I'm not sure what they call the blue ones, but they tend to work better. I've heard a lot lot of good things out of them. I have not heard anything good out of these, and nor have I had any good experiences with them. They just don't last. They don't hold up. They need to up their game or get rid of these and just stick with the blue ones, because these are just not worth it. This Badlands, let's go to this Apache case. These Apache cases are really nice. Are they Pelican cases? No, but they're pretty good quality. I would say they're close to Pelican, and this one's a medium size, but for $19.99 and it comes in 3 different colors, not a bad price for $20. That's a pretty good discount. These Badland winches, especially this 1,200 pound winch with the synthetic rope, this is a really highly regarded winch. My son just bought one of these. He put one of those big metal bumpers on the front of his Tundra, and he bought this for that, and he really likes it. And I've talked to some of his friends who have them. It's kind of one of those things that Harbor Freight has kind of become the go-to for a lot of these off-roaders, overlander folks. They've got a lot of off-road type equipment, especially these winches and some lights and some other things that they have. They get a lot of attention for them, and they seem to love them. I can't say much about this jump starter here. I had one of these, and it worked for about 2 years, and then just petered out. I don't know if it was something I did or just the jump starter. I've talked to people who have them and who've had them for a long time, and they work really well. But at 30% off, that's not a bad, horrible deal. I really like these Yukon workbenches. I've got the 9-drawer, don't have the cabinet style, but I've actually been considering one of these. Tell you what I did with mine. I took a piece of plywood and put a larger piece of plywood on the top, and it just kind of cantilevers over, and then I trimmed it out with just some furring strips. But and then I polyurethaned it, and it makes a much bigger surface to work on. It's still very stable. These are normally $299 at $269. That's I think I probably have seen them at a little bit better price, but still, it's a pretty reasonable price at $269, $270. These LED hanging shop lights, 34% off at $14.99. That's a pretty good deal. These are actually pretty good lights. My nephew has these in his garage, and he loves them, and they've lasted for a long time. He has no complaints. So this Pittsburg 301-piece tool set, this is a nice little tool set. It's Pittsburg, but it is, again, getting back to the combination wrenches we were looking at earlier. It does have a lifetime warranty on it, so I think it's worth looking at. These Quinn sets are really good. I am not sure why this one starts at $89, but it's on sale for $139 until you look over here and you see that it's normally actually $179, and it's the half-inch one that's on sale, not the 3/8. So you get a half-inch that's on master set, SAEN metric for $149, normally $180. So that's $40 off. You know what? I'd buy that. That's a good deal. Then you've got this little tool sets, and it's funny because I just did a video on how to build a tool kit from Harbor Freight for $100 or under, and I bought this as part of that tool set. It's actually a good, if you just need a spare set, or if you're a spare set of tools, just kind of a little bit of everything, or if you're starting out brand new in DIY, this is a great set at $39.99. At $29.99, you can't beat it. It's buy one for Christmas gifts. These are really good deals. Stay away from this electrical tape. It's not very good at all. These peg type socket trays, these are really good. They've got both the metric and the SAEs. They come in a plethora of 3 colors. I won't call that a plethora, but for $15, that's not a bad deal. That's $10 off. $30, you get 2 full sets of trays. SAE and metric, I'd call that a deal. Talking about another deal, these Pittsburg metric and SAE ratcheting wrenches, both sets of these. So you get $18.99 for a set. Again, $10 off for a 7-piece set. Buy these. These are a good deal. I know they're Pittsburgh. I know they're not the best tools made, but if you're just starting out, and especially if you're working on cars, I love ratcheting wrenches. I hardly ever use any combination wrenches just because I'm so reliant on the ratcheting wrenches. These, they're not the highest quality, but they're lifetime warranted. If one of them fails, just take it back to Harbor Freight, and they'll give you a brand new one. Don't know much about these lights, so these chairs. I know these are really popular nowadays, and I've seen them at some of the Cabela's and places like that. But the ones at Cabela's are bigger. These are smaller. I'm a big guy, so I'm gonna say a hard pass on these. You can't go wrong with the microfiber cloths. You get 12 of them. They're $3.69. These are one of those things where you go in and you grab them just every time they're on sale, because they are great to have around the house and use. I use the heck out of them. And I've got a locker where I store a lot of my extra stuff like gloves and towels, and I won't say, but maybe I have a few packs of these laying around in my locker. Well, I do. All right, so I'll skip through the nailers. I don't have much experience with these. I have heard good things about them. I don't know about the banks. I do know some people who've had the central pneumatic, and I think I had one of these at one time, and I might have given it to my son, but it's been a very long time ago. Don't remember having any issues with it. But for $24.97 clearance, I don't know if it's a better deal than going for the banks. Again, I don't know which one's better than the other. Don't really have any experience with the banks. The Merlin Premium Air Compressor Accessory Kit. This is actually a pretty good deal. It's 21% off. Normally $23, on sale for $18. It's a good deal. I would buy this. This is a solid item. Another Pittsburgh item, and I swear I'm not a Pittsburgh fan. Boy, when something's good and solid and it works, I'm going to point it out. And these 1/2-inch impact or drive impact deep socket sets, any of the impact wrenches or sockets that are Pittsburgh, these are decent quality. I know professionals that have used them. I've heard of professionals that have used them for many years and continue to use them. The impact wrenches are just built better. They're heavy. Whether they're Pittsburgh or, they're Snap-on, they're all just heavier duty. They're built better. They're not all shiny chrome. They're, that oxide. But for $20 for a 1/2-inch set, and they've got impact or metric, buy these. This is a deal. If you want a compressor, instead of going with the 3-gallon, I'd go for the 6 on these, either the hot dog or the pancake, just because I like it better. But for $50, you can't go wrong. The McGraws are fine compressors. I've got a little small pancake one that I've had for quite some time. It's the 6-gallon. I think I paid $100 for it, and I use it every so often. I've got a big compressor, so I don't use that one as much as I used to, but I do use the little pancake one when I need to. It's good for airing tires, or if you need to run a nail gun or something like that. My brother-in-law just bought this 21-gallon McGraw 175 psi oil-free vertical shop compressor. It's $30 off. Is it a huge savings? No, but it's for the money. It's not a bad air compressor. The Fortress are higher end compressors. I really don't have any experience with them. None of these just jump out at me at being a super amazing deal. But you can't go wrong if you need a better quality, smaller compressor. I think for me, I wouldn't go any smaller than a 6-gallon if you're going to have just a small carry-around compressor. You start diminishing in the capabilities in it. Here are those impact wrenches again. Not sure why they have them a second time. These Hercules, especially this half-inch ultra torque impact wrench. I used one of these, and I've got a DeWalt half-inch impact, and this thing here is a beast. Not a huge savings. I think I've seen this one cheaper, but it is worth having. It's a nice wrench. Now this one's just tool only, so you have to get the battery and the charger. The Earthquake XT half-inch air impact wrench. These things are beasts. They've been around now for 20 years or so in various iterations, and I've heard nothing but good things about these. Avoid the Chicago Power 10-inch sliding compound miter saw. You don't want it. Trust me. There are better options. The Vulcan 220 Industrial Multi-Pro Welder, 120, 240 volt. These are really nice. My son has this exact same welder. He used to weld in one of his jobs, and he loves it. He uses all the different functions. I can MIG weld, that's about it, but he uses all the other functions of it. For $8.99, that's $200 off. That's not a bad deal. And here's the Fortress 6-gallon compressor for $139. If you're looking for a pancake, this is what I would probably go for as top choice. And then the Flux Core 125. If you just need something, the hot glue gun of welders, I think I heard used not too long ago on this. For $89.99, it's not a huge discount. It's $10 off, but still, it'll be at a lower price. I've seen it at a much lower price. I think $79 or maybe even, I think $79. So you can save a little bit more if you hold on. The Premium Auto Detailing accessory kit here. If you can find this, buy it at $19.99. I've been trying to find one, and every time I go into the store, they do not have it in stock. So I haven't been able to get one. And everybody needs a dolly, a hand dolly. This one's a little steep at $179. It is $20 off, but it has up to 1,000 pounds capacity, and it is a 4-in-1 convertible. So, it's a nice dolly if you're going to use one. There's a little less expensive option, I think, on the next page that we can look at. Here's another one of those multi-purpose welders. This one's a 120 only at $449. That's $150 off. Again, these titanium welders are just really, really good welders. Stay away from this backpack sprayer. These things are horrible. I made the mistake of buying one once and never again. These U.S. General 5-outlet magnetic power strips, hey, if you got one of the colored toolbox, which, hey, guess what? I like green. If you have one of these, well, this is kind of one of those things you just have to have. So I have one of these, and at $24.99, it's not a bad price, considering that typically $34. So you save $9. It's worth having. Welding cart's not a bad deal for $29.99 if you have a welder. If you decide you want one of these titanium welders up here, here's your cart for $29. That's 40% off. That's a pretty good amount off there. Where else can you get a 12 amp hour battery for $89? If you got the Bauer tool line, $89 for a 12 amp hour battery, that's more than half off of what you'd find any other brand of cordless tool battery with 12 amp. Matter of fact, I haven't seen too many 12 amp hour batteries. I'd buy this one if I had a Bauer, but I don't have too many Bauer products, and I have nothing that needs a 12 amp hour battery that will work it. If you've got some clogged drains, I'm not a huge fan of these. I have one of these that you actually connect to your drill, and it's just more trouble than it's worth. But hey, if you like snaking the drains and you want something that's just all in one, $89.99 to save you $100. There you go. Here's the 7 mil gloves. The other ones were $7.98, I believe, for the 9. The 9 are much better. I've had the 7. They're not bad, but for the difference in price, go with the 9. You'll like those much better. This vise over here is an okay vise. I like the Doyle better. They're sturdier. I have one of these. I've broken it once and fixed it. And at $44.99, normally $60. It's 25% off. If you need a vise and under $50 is your goal, then go for it. Here you go. Here are the Hercules 4.5 inch metal cutoff wheels, 10 pack. The others I think we looked at, the Bauer version, were $495 or $496. Higher, they might have been $499. But these are $596, $1 more, but the quality is much better. These will last you in a cut a lot longer than the others. So trust me, it's worth $1 to buy these. This is a pretty good deal here. At 54% off, I'm probably going to buy some of these myself. The Braun 400 lumen rechargeable pen light, I recommend this one. I think there's another pen light, if I'm not mistaken, in this ad. It may have been the previous ad, but at $15 for a 400 lumen, 34% off, that's not a bad price. I would jump on that. Here's that other hand truck that I was talking about before, $54.99. It's 19% off. Not a huge discount in comparison to some of the other things that we've got up for sale in this ad, but this is a good hand truck. I've had one of these probably 15 or more years, and it still works like a charm. I have to fill it up with air, fill the tires up with air every so often, but when I need it, it works. These Franklin 17-foot reach little giant clone ladders are actually really good ladders. These are heavier than you would expect, but so are the little giants. So it's not like this is just extraordinarily heavy because it's a Franklin. But at $99, it's $50 off. Not a bad deal at all. Not a bad deal. Here's the other pen light that I was mentioning that they had for sale. It's the same price as that other Braun, the 400 lumen. This one's only 140 lumen, and this is supposedly on clearance. Not sure how they figure that's a great deal, but I'd go for the 400 lumen at the same price if it were me. And with that said, that's everything. Sorry I didn't show my face on this video, but I'm traveling this week for work and I am in a hotel room. Please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button. And as always, God bless.